Hi, and welcome to Books I'm Reading Volume 2. So this is not the second week of the month, but it's my second edition of talking about what I'm reading in 2025. So I'm going to pick up where I left off last time. So last time I had just started reading the Backyard Bird Chronicles by Amy Tan. And this is a sweet little book. And it also has some illustrations, which she did herself. And I've been really enjoying it. So I have something to admit. I have not finished it. And I'll get to the reason why in a minute, but it's because this week was the release of a book I've been waiting for a really long time, that a lot of people have been waiting for a really long time. And when it came out, which I'll talk about in a second, I stopped reading this in order to read the one I've been waiting for. And I do that. I mean, if there's a book that I have been waiting for a really long time, that I'm excited about, by a favorite author or a favorite series, whatever, I will stop what I'm doing to read it. That's just the way it is. Deferred gratification is not really something that I do when it comes to reading. So I actually still haven't finished this, but you know what? This is the kind of book you can get away with because it's a very sweet book. It's, yes, there's life lessons in it, but it's about kind of her journey to loving birds and kind of diving into learning how to draw better, learning how to observe them better. So it's very relaxing. It's very sweet. It's very thoughtful. And for me, I live in kind of the woods, and so I do have bird feeders, and I really enjoy watching them and feeding them, as well as all the little critters. I don't discriminate. I love them all. So, but I love watching them. And so I really kind of relate to this book in that sense, about kind of getting in touch with nature and appreciating it and learning to understand it better. So it's a very sweet book, which I will finish, but it's probably going to be one of those that I go back and forth to, like when I'm in between things, where I just read a little more in it, because you can do that. Each chapter, it's like a journal entry. So you can kind of take your time with it and just enjoy it. And that's how I'm going to treat this one. And it's very sweet, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're into birds, animal, nature, and just kind of communing with those things. So, okay. That was the book I started this week with. Well, the book I spent most of the week with probably won't shock anybody. Onyx Storm. Yes. Rebecca Yarros. I'm not sure how to say her last name, so I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. But Onyx Storm. So this book, anyone who's been reading the Fourth Wing series has been waiting for it. It had midnight release parties, which I love, although I did not go to one. But man, back in the Harry Potter days, I certainly did. And so I love that there's a series that's getting that kind of energy, because that just always makes me so happy, when people are like enthused over a book. So for those of you that don't know, this is a series about dragons and dragon riders, and it's in that genre of romantasy, I believe it's called, which is super popular right now, especially among women of all ages. But it's a lot of fun. It's an escape, right? These books are an escape. And, I think there's going to be 5 in this series, so this is number 3. So, of course, we're just right smack in the middle of the drama, with it ending. I'm not going to spoil anything, but we're right in the middle of it. You're not getting, good resolutions yet on things, just more drama. But it's fun, and I really love it, and it's super enjoyable. I think they're going to make a TV show out of it, and all I can say is if they do that, the dragons better be on point, right? Not to mention the casting, but the dragons better be on point, because they are stars, right? They're actually speak. They have personalities. It's important. So anyway, if you like romantasy, if you like fantasy, and if you like a good dark, brooding, romantic character, highly recommend this. If you're not into fantasy, forget it. No worries. But it's good fun. So love it. Okay, you know me, I move right on. I usually have a stack waiting. I have a list waiting. So when I kind of start to get toward the end of one, if I don't have a new one waiting on me, I literally go and buy one like immediately. I cannot be without a book. And sometimes if I go in a bookstore, it's rare I walk out with just one, because there's always going to be more than one I want. And, it doesn't take me long to move through them. So my current book that I literally just started today, this will be kind of probably what I pick up with next time, because once I finish it, I'll have a lot more insight. But I think it's going to be great. And I think it's going to sort of connect into Mel Robbins' The Let Them theory that I talked about last time, which I'm still very much passionate about. I've been watching podcasts on it, and I'd really love to do like a book club kind of discussion on it, because I think there's just so much to unpack with it, and I really want to know other people's thoughts and experiences with it and how they're going to implement it into their lives. I'm very interested in the theories about it, because I think it's so important, and I think this one's going to go right up in there with it. So this is Martha Beck's new book, Beyond Anxiety: Curiosity, Creativity, and Finding Your Life's Purpose. And this, I've loved her books in the past. I've read them. She's very insightful, very thoughtful. And this Beyond Anxiety, it's not I read the introduction, that's it. So again, I'm just getting going. But from the beginning, what I think this is really going to be touching on, it's not so much, yes, it's going to help you find ways to deal with, if you struggle with anxiety, conditions on a personal level, but it's talking about it in all forms of anxiety, right? Like social anxiety, world anxiety, and how that manifests in our day-to-day life, and how we can learn to kind of refocus that energy into a more positive, joyful, helpful place, right? And so I'm very excited to read about the recommendations she's going to have for this, because I've struggled with anxiety before in different ways, right? Like I have had panic attacks before, but they're kind of been random. And so I'm interested in, of course, any suggestions she has for, on the personal front when you deal with these issues, but also just the bigger picture stuff, right? About life in general and the larger life anxieties that we all have, that we all share, and how we can really, again, kind of let go of the things we can't control, which I see this kind of tying into Mel's book, how we can let go of that, and how we can really find calm, find peace, no matter what is going on around us or in our own lives. So I'm really excited to read this advice. I think it's going to be really, really, really helpful, just judging from her previous book. So this is Martha Beck, Beyond Anxiety, and I will let you know what I think about it next time. So that is what I'm reading for this week. Okay, bye.